our thoughts turn to our families, can we ask ourselves if we've done whatever we can do to provide for the ones whom we love? One way to provide for our loved ones is to make sure that we have an estate plan, and if we do, whether it is up to date. None of us likes to talk about death or dying, and especially to consider our own demise. But death is real, we all experience it, and a key aspect of dealing with life's issues is not to deny reality. Accepting reality makes life easier, less stressful. Hello, I'm Brian Dennis, an estate planning attorney and the author of Should Cinderella's Parents Have Had a Trust? The reality of death and dying is that when someone dies without having a will or trust, the cost of handling the estate can be expensive, quite expensive. When learning how much of their inheritances could go to costs and fees, family members frequently ask whether there's anything else that they can do. The unfortunate answer is no, because the person who died had his or her whole life to arrange his or her affairs in order to avoid the costs. Now it's too late. Are you someone who doesn't have a will or a trust and whose family could ask the same question because they've been put in that position? Have you put off doing what you know you should do because you think that the process is complex and that you don't have time to deal with the complex process right now? I think that while people understand that they need an estate plan, many think that they can wait, that they don't need to prepare one now, even though they have assets and family members who are dependent upon them, and even though it's easier to go through life without the nagging feeling that procrastination brings. I also think that other reasons for delay are that people don't know an estate planning lawyer whom they can trust, and that they don't know what they don't know. They don't really know what an estate plan is, what they should have, and why they should have one now. That's why I've created an estate planning class. It's called Estate Planning BluePrint. Just as in construction, in the case of estate planning, that means starting out by thinking about all of your options, then creating a blueprint from which you can construct your documents. Once you have a blueprint, the building should be a lot easier. There's an adage, don't put a stumbling block before the blind. That begs the question of who is blind? In so many areas of life where we seek help, we are blind, with estate planning being a good example of that. In Estate Planning Blueprint, we'll explore key issues so that you can gain comprehensive estate planning information in an understandable way and be an informed consumer. Recently, I sent out a survey asking for questions about estate planning, and I got back a significant number of responses. I want to thank all of you who replied. I'm going to be answering your questions in my class, which will consist of 4 modules, 1 per week. I'll cover the same things that I cover in my estate planning process when people come to see me. In step 1, I provide general information. A will does this, a trust does that. In step 2, people describe how they want their documents drawn up to meet their needs. Their executor should be this person, their trustee that person. Here's whom the backup agent should be. The beneficiaries of their wills and trusts are these specific people. Then in step 3, I write up their documents. In the class, we're going to cover steps 1 and 2. You'll be given worksheets to complete your information in step 2. If a trust has a trustee, I'll give the guidelines for whom the trustee should be. Then you'll be able to write down whom you want your trustee to be. The class is designed so that you will be able to consider and write down estate planning information, then go to an attorney, be that me or someone else, having some background yourself so that you can do additional planning and then have your documents written up. In Module 1, we'll start with why, as in why have an estate plan. We'll look at other issues too, primarily who owns what. That's a question that deals with title, a word people have heard of, but many don't really understand, and covers community property, another concept people have heard of, but also are unfamiliar with in practice. We'll cover how differences in title may lead to different, perhaps costly results. Modernly, we speak in terms of wills and trusts, so Module 2 will cover wills and what many consider to be today's workhorse document, the revocable living trust. We'll distinguish between revocable and irrevocable trusts, how trusts aren't just for rich people, and begin to answer questions that I got in my survey, including why people even have trusts and what the desirable age is to create one. Module 3 will cover how to plan affairs so the financial management can continue in the event of disability, and personal health decisions can be respected when people don't have the capacity to decide for themselves. The 2 documents that do this are the Durable Power of Attorney for Financial Management and the Advanced Healthcare Directive. We'll also cover an often overlooked 3rd document, the Medical Release Form. Module 4 reviews the 6th document, which really isn't the document that people create. Instead, it's more of a fill-in-the-blanks form, but a very important fill-in-the-blanks form. It's the beneficiary designation form used with pension plans, including IRAs, Roth IRAs, and 401k plans. Life insurance products, including life insurance and annuities, also use beneficiary change forms. Where they are used, it may not matter what a will or trust says. I'll cover issues related to the completion of the beneficiary designation forms too. There are other forms also on which we'll touch. For those who have minor children, there's a seventh form, and that's a standby guardianship, which is frequently overlooked. What if a parent is alive, becomes disabled, and there's no one left to care for minor children? That's where a standby guardianship comes into play. We'll make sure that we go over that form too, as well as look at additional issues that business owners should consider, including 2 more significant forms for business owners. We'll look through a lens with the idea of seeing the ways to maximize the amount of money that can go to families, to provide the framework needed when it comes to the legal issues involved with estate planning. You'll be able to use your written worksheets to guide you as you move forward with the class's issues. One purpose of the class is to give you an affordable way to learn about estate planning. While no class can cover everything, we'll set out to try and cover what I think are the key issues and do it in a unique way. I say that because I'm not aware of anyone else who is teaching general estate planning, then having people follow up in real time, considering and are making their own decisions in a worksheet format based on information that has been presented. The class will be conducted live. After each module, you'll have a chance to submit questions that I'll try to incorporate into the sessions in the following weeks. I'll guide you through the issues. You will then be able to write down your own answers as they apply to you. The objective is for you to have a blueprint to gain knowledge in areas that can be critical to you and your family while you're considering issues such as the following. For people who don't have an estate plan, the question is why not? What are some of the consequences of not acting? For those with estate plans, what are the arguments in favor of updating a plan? What issues may second blended families wish to consider? What are the consequences of leaving property to young children or even young adults? Are there different laws for estate planning when one or both spouses are not U.S. citizens? What is the estate tax? When does it apply? And if it's repealed, how will that affect estate planning? Can charitable giving interact with estate planning? If so, how? How does estate planning in the 21st century differ from estate planning in the 20th century? While I hold active law licenses in Pennsylvania and California, my office is in California, and this court will be taught from the standpoint of California law. Estate planning concepts are similar across the board, so the estate planning concepts that we'll cover may be of general interest to people outside of California, but the orientation will be based on California law. Also, while I think that most everyone can benefit from the class, for those whose individual net worth is approximately $5.5 million and above, or approximately $11 million and above jointly as couples, there are additional estate planning strategies that won't be covered in this class. For those people, this class is a base. Lastly, if you're the type of person who wants to know something before starting a process that may impact your family in untold ways, then this class could serve as a form of research for you. Could you just go to a lawyer and have that information provided to you as part of the process? You could, but this class may first help you to create a foundation for your discussion. And just what is the cost? This is my first class, hopefully the first of many, on multiple subjects. For my maiden voyage, the cost is $497, or for those of you who prefer payments, 3 monthly payments of $175. But $497 will get you more than my estate planning class, at least for participants in this initial class. I'm also offering the opportunity to enroll for free in my next class, part of my consumer information series, How to Buy Insurance. The price and date for that upcoming insurance class have not yet been set, but currently I expect it to have a minimum price of $197. You will receive information on products from auto to homeowners to renters to condominium owners insurance, as well as how to insure as a landlord and life, disability, and long-term care insurance. The objective is to gain insight into the asset protection aspects of insurance and to see if your insurance premium dollars can work a lot harder for you than they may be doing now. In Estate Planning Blueprint, we won't be forming an attorney-client relationship where I can consult with you and give you advice specific to your situation. And while there's no guarantee that my class will work for you as intended or that I can promise any results, the hope is that you will gain knowledge so that you will have an awareness of these subjects. The idea is to have an exposure to building blocks, be it with your estate planning now or your insurance program later. But for many, there's no substitute for a follow-up consultation. So, as part of the price, I'm also offering a complimentary 1/2 hour phone consultation to those of you who complete the class to review your situation and answer any questions that you may have. This consultation will form an attorney-client relationship, so a legal engagement letter will be required for us before we have the consultation. If for some reason you start the class, but estate planning blueprint doesn't seem to work for you, then just let me know by the end of the second module and I'll refund your money in full. No questions asked. The class may make a great way for you, your friends and colleagues, and if you're an advisor, your clients, to focus on taking care of your family and set in motion the steps that can protect a lifetime of earnings. So scroll down below now, click and sign up. Your opportunity to set the stage for you to take care of your family is in front of you. Seize it for yourself, your family, and or your business. See you in class.